All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever stopped and wondered why some people in business seem to build real, lasting wealth while so many others just get stuck? Well, it turns out there's this kind of hidden system at play, a fundamental split that separates how things turn out for pretty much everyone. Take a look at this. It's estimated that a whopping 85% of people in business are essentially stuck, just trading their time for money in a loop they can't seem to escape. But then there's this other, much smaller group, right? Just 15%, who manage to build serious wealth. Now here's the kicker. This isn't about luck or talent or even who works harder. Nope, it's all about the game they choose to play. So that leads us to the big question, doesn't it? What is the real difference here? How can two groups, often in the exact same industries, end up in such wildly different places? Well, it all boils down to their core philosophy, the way they think about business itself. To figure that out, let's first break down the path most people take. We'll call it the 85% trap. And its whole philosophy, which sounds totally logical on the surface, is this: do business to get money. I mean, that feels pretty intuitive, right? You need money, so you go do business to get it. But here's the trap. This model directly ties your personal output, your time, your effort, your sweat, to your income. You literally become the product. And what happens next is pretty much inevitable. First, you become the engine of the whole operation. Everything, and I mean everything, depends on you. But what happens when you're the engine? Eventually, you also become the bottleneck. The business can only grow as much as you can personally do. And that leads directly to the final nail in the coffin. Your income is capped. There's a hard limit based on the hours in a day. The result is, well, it's frustratingly predictable. You end up on this hamster wheel, working harder and harder, but your income just plateaus. You're grinding away for a paycheck that's fundamentally limited by your own capacity. You haven't built a wealth-generating asset. You've built yourself a really demanding job. So what about the other 15%? They aren't just working harder, they are operating from a completely different playbook. They play a totally different game, and their approach flips the entire model right on its head. Okay, get ready for this, because the core difference comes down to a tiny shift in two little words. The 85% do business to get money, the 15% get money to do business. It seems so subtle, but that one little change in the sequence, oh man, it unlocks a completely different universe of strategy and potential. So what does that actually mean? Well, instead of pouring all their energy into earning the next dollar with their own two hands, they focus on building something valuable. They design their businesses like machines, systems that are so well built that other people and other institutions actually want to pour their money into them. Their process looks totally different. They create these super clean, structured, and specialized legal entities. They position the business from day one to be attractive for funding from banks or investors. And here's the magic ingredient. They leverage other people's money, or OPM, to grow. You see, their personal effort isn't the fuel anymore. Capital is. And that right there is the real game changer. The 85% try to scale by just working more hours, which is always going to be limited. But the 15%, they don't scale their effort. They scale the system. And a system, when you fuel it with outside money, has, well, basically unlimited potential for growth. So let's just put it side by side. You've got the 85% trap. The mindset is do business to get money. You are the engine, and the result is a capped income. Then you have the 15% playbook, get money to do business. The system is the engine, and the result is you're acquiring assets with infinite growth potential. I mean, the difference is night and day, right? So when you boil all this down, what's the single most important thing to take away from all this? It's a total paradigm shift in how you should even think about creating wealth in the first place. And this is it. This is the idea that changes everything. Wealth is not worked for. It's engineered. Just let that sink in for a second. It's not about the grind. It's about the design. It's something you build, you architect, not something you earn just by sweating more. So what does this mean for you? It's pretty straightforward, actually. Stop trying to fund your business with your own paycheck. Seriously, shift your focus. Start building something so professional, so buttoned up, and so compelling that banks and investors are lining up to fund its growth. So, now that we've laid out the two different playbooks, the two mindsets, and the two very different outcomes, the ball is really in your court. It becomes a conscious choice about which game you actually want to play. So I'll leave you with this last critical question to really think about. Take a hard look at what you're building right now. Is it just a high-paying job for yourself, something that vanishes the second you step away? Or are you truly engineering an asset, something that can grow and scale and build wealth all on its own without you having to be the one turning the crank every single day? Because that answer, well, that's going to determine everything.